My name is Marie, and I'm coming to you from central New Hampshire. This is my podcast where I talk all about my knitting and my Yarnie goodness. I talk about what's on my needles, what's off my needles, what I hope to get on my needles, things that I've purchased, places that I've been, and in this episode I will talk about my adventures to New York, to the fiber festivals there. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Olde Thyme Knits. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate that. And if you're new here, welcome. So if all of this sounds like something you might enjoy, then come on in and let's get started. Okay, what's off my needles? Yes, my Wave of Change jacket is off my needles. Whew. I have been haunted by this. It has just been lingering and lingering. I'm so happy to have it off. I finished it. I completed it. I talked about this in my last couple episodes, and most of you already know that I had trouble. I had yarn shortages. I had to substitute yarn. This is Expression Fiber Arts in their buttery bulky base in the Timekeeper colorway. I am in love with this sweater. The fit is amazing. I will insert some pictures after to show you how it fits. The one thing I did want to say is I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like I struggle with button bands. I mean, I don't think it looks too bad, but I gotta say, I don't have the confidence. It seems like they're never right when you do them, and it's frustrating to me to have that happen. So I wanted to see if I could find some patterns with the button band built in. I know that there's some out there. If anybody has any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But yes, I am super happy it's off the needles. I don't have it on today because it is a jacket and it is pretty hot. So it's more for an outside wearing jacket. But yes, finally it is done. So that is off the needles number 1. My next item that's off the needles was on the needles in my last podcast, and it is called Trish's Garden. And it is a pattern by Diane, and I cannot say her last name, so I will put it on the screen here. But anyway, here it is. So, I really like this. I did not make any modifications to the pattern, except that when I cast on, it recommends you cast on with a size 3, and I used a 4 because I didn't have a 3. And then as you go, it tells you to go up a size to size 5, which I did. Really happy with how this turned out. Let me put it on. You guys can see. I really like this. I really like this cowl because it comes down a little bit further on your neck. It's almost like a little capelet. You guys can see that or not. Very soft, very drapey. The yarn that I used is one of my favorites. It's the Indie Yarn Company. And this is her Merino, Yak, and Silk base in the red ochre colorway. I think I talked about this the last time, that I have a hard time with reds because I don't really like a bright red, but this is more of a cranberry. It actually looks a little bit brighter on screen than it actually is. But so I knit this for a Christmas gift for my sister. So yay me, I have another Christmas gift done. I better get hopping because it's coming fast. All right, let me see what else I have. Okay, I'm going to talk about what's on my needles now. Currently, I have in this bag, and it's by Daisy Girl and Company. I love these bags with the clear so you can see what's in them. So this is for my sweet granddaughter Annabelle, who loves my socks that I've made her. I made her 2 pairs, and so this is another pair for her. This is a DK weight. You do it on magic loop. US 3 is the size that I use, and these are shorter socks than you know we normally make. I cast on 40 stitches, 10 rounds for the cuff and 10 rounds for the leg, so I'm at the heel. And I am using Freckled Whimsy is the company, and this is her yarn of the month for September 2022. It's the Serendipity DK. And this is the skein. I actually let Annabelle get into the yarn stash and pick out something all by herself. And then I taught her how to use the yarn winder and Swift. So that was pretty fun. If I can find some video, I'll pop it in and so you can see her. She is adorable. And she just loves the socks. So I've had this, as you can see, I just barely cast on maybe a couple days ago. I've had it, and every day she asks me, are they done yet? Are they done yet? I'm like, oh, Annabelle, you gotta give me more than a day. Isn't it fun to have somebody so excited about something you do, though? So yes, those are for her, and that'll be a nice quick little project. She enjoys them so much. So all right, that is On the Needles number 1. All right, my next work in progress is this. I just cast it on. It's the Sunday Morning Shawl, the Sunday Morning Wrap by Espace Tricot. It's a free pattern on their website, which I would like to mention. They have all kinds of free patterns on their website. So if you haven't been there and visited that yet, you should do that. They got some great patterns, including some sweaters and mitts and all kinds of things. All right, the yarn that I'm using, sorry, I got a little bit of a tangle going on here, is a 100% alpaca, and it is from the Perfect Blend Yarn Shop in Saugerties, New York. And so we visited this little yarn store when we were in New York for the festivals. And this is 100% alpaca, soft. I don't know if you can see the halo or not, but boy, it is beautiful. And here is my, I'm tangled. Of course I'm tangled. All right, so this is the start of the wrap. I don't have too much going on yet, but so far so good. It is a super easy knit, you know, and mindless. You don't need to concentrate a whole lot. It's really long. It's all wrapped up here on my needles. I really like it. Super squishy. And this was a sample that they had in their shop at the Perfect Blend, and I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. So it makes me think of wintertime and frost. So yeah, so I decided to get that on the needles, and super happy I did. And that's number 2. Hang on. So while we were on our trip to New York, I just mentioned we visited the yarn store called the Perfect Blend Yarn and Tea Shop. And what a wonderful little place. And it is like right off of Main Street in a quaint little area, and really has great curb appeal to it. They do a really fabulous job there. When we got there, everybody was all excited and happy, and you know, the events of they were coming. We went the day before any of the other festivals were happening. It was really nice there, and there was a featured indie dyer there, and her name was Emma from Emma's Yarn. I didn't get to see her, but boy, I got to see her yarn. And so I purchased some yarns. This is her Super Silky. It is 80% superwash merino and 20% silk, and it's the Harbor colorway. Ah, it's so beautiful. This is the same color on her mohair silk base. So I purchased enough for a sweater. And I tried to be mindful and purchase with patterns in mind if I could. You know, you can't always do that. However, I do have, I do want to make another love note. I love my first love note. I wear it a lot. The fit is amazing on it. And so I was on a hunt for another sweater quantity for that. And on top of that, I connected with Sophie from Cozy Meadow Knits. Hi, Sophie. And to see if she might want to do an impromptu casual love note knit along with me. She hasn't knit it yet. And we decided that we would do that together. And so I think it's going to be our New Year's Eve or our New Year's Day cast on, which is super fun to look forward to. We'll be casting on together. And so I was wondering if anybody else wants to cast on with us. I don't have any details. I'm just throwing this out there and seeing if anybody wants to have some fun with us and keep it casual, keep it low key. Maybe we'll figure out a Ravelry group or something, and or maybe not. Maybe we can just post on Instagram, or anyway, if you're interested, jump on in the comments and let me know, and we'll see if we can't stir it up. And Sophie doesn't even know that I'm actually throwing this out there. She just knows that she's hooked to me for the beginning of the year for a Love Note sweater. So yeah, that was the first item. And again, if you're interested, let me know in the comments down below. And then the second thing that I purchased there was again from Emma's Yarn. And it's basically the same base. It is the same base. This is they call it her Hella Hank. It's huge. It's 600 yards per skein. And I got this because they didn't have this color in the smaller skeins. And the color is called Wish You Were Beer. And I also got the mohair to match in the same color. And I did that with the intention of, again, another sweater. I don't currently have the exact sweater I'm gonna do, but I hear a lot of people talk about the no frills sweater from Petite Knits and the Cozy Classic Raglan from Jessie Made. So I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do, but it was so beautiful that I just had to. So yeah, so that was a great little shop, and it was super fun to do that. Okay, the next part of our New York trip was Friday morning, October 14th, and we went to Untangled, which was housed at a horse facility where they do horse shows, and there were big barns and two separate pavilions, and there was all kinds of vendors there, indie dyers and bag makers and progress keepers and a coffee company. It was really cute. And the first place that I wanted to go to was I wanted to find a specific book, and so I did, and I found this book. And this is called Salt and Timber, and it's from Lindsay Fowler of Larkspur Knits. This book is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I had kind of seen it on the internet and knew that I wanted to purchase it. So I found this in the Plies and Hellhounds booth, and this was the last one. Yoo-hoo! And I got it. And Lindsay was in the booth, and she was signing copies. But what a fantastic book. So before I get into the book, I just wanted to say that I made a hat out of the book. This is the firewood cap, and it is a worsted weight. I just love the crown on this. The decreases are really, really nice, so you get a nice rounded top. It doesn't, it doesn't drop off sharply. So let me put it on for you. Yeah, it's super cute. It's very soft. Oh, sorry. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Anyway, it was a great palette cleanser, and I just loved it. It was a super fast knit. So the yarn that I used was Malabrigo, Rios, and it was in the pearl colorway. So this was one of the patterns out of the book. This book is, again, it's amazing. Look at my signature. Ooh, I was so excited to meet her. She's very, very sweet, as well as Gabby from Flies and Hellhounds, who was selling the book. Okay, this is the cap that I made. Super cute. The photography in this book is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It every pattern has 3 or 4 pictures with it. These socks, they're beautiful. And I'm pretty sure there's not a pattern in here that I wouldn't want to knit. And that's rare that you find a book that you think you want to. I seriously think I could knit every pattern. Look at the shawl. Beautiful. And, nothing too complicated. Look at my hair from the hat. Nothing too complicated in it. So, great book. This is the back. It has a set of mitts on it. That pattern's in the book also. Yeah, so that was a really good find. I was super happy about that. And Lindsay and Gabby were kind enough to take a picture with me. So we will get that here. So the next event we went to was Woolen Folk, and that was at the Hut and Brick Yards in Kingston, New York. It was right on the Hudson River. It was beautiful. The venue was very cool. It was like this big pavilion on the waterfront with all the vendor tents set up underneath it. And it was a gorgeous day, and it was very, very busy there. But the first place I went to was Woolens and Nosh, because I had to catch up with Michelle, because if you watched my last episode, I had that side hustle wrap that I knit for a sample for her, and I had to get that to her so she could have it in her booth. She had some kits there for it. And so I found her and passed it off, and it was so fun. She was overjoyed, and there was so much hoopla going on about it. And boy, I was so proud. It was really very, very cool. So I will at some point pop in a picture of her and I with it. She was blown away, and it really felt good to be able to do something like that for someone. But anyway, while I was in her booth, I purchased a couple of her self-striping, because she's so good at that. And this is a DK self-striping, and it's called Percolated. Oh, it's so awesome. So awesome. This is actually the one I was hoping to get my hands on, and I wasn't sure there was going to be any left by the time I got there, but there was. So this is on our 100% superwash merino base, DK, 243 yards. So that is one for socks. And then she had this set, which is the Gratitude colorway, again, DK weight. So the self-striping is 100 grams, and then there's a 50-gram complimentary color skein with it. Super cute. She had a sample knit up of these in her booth, and that's really what sold me on it. It really is. It's great. Her DK is so squishy. It's just wonderful. So yeah, that was my purchases from Michelle. And also in her booth was celebrity Denise, Earth Tones girl, was there promoting her colorway that Michelle and her collaborated on. It was like a sock yarn, and I purchased a skein, and it is called Falling in Love. And this is 90% superwash targhee and 10% nylon, 411 yards. I think this is almost closer to almost a sport weight, I think. Not necessarily, but super soft and super pretty. And Denise was really, really fun. She's, I said it before, her smile is infectious, that woman. She's always smiling, always happy, always pleasant, always joyful. And so I snapped a picture with her because I fangirled a little bit, and she was so fun. She's so down to earth. It's not even, you just can't even believe how, you know, we put these people up on a pedestal and we see them as celebrities and not reachable, and that's just not the way it is at all. She was really amazing. So I really enjoyed that. She was great. So yeah, let me see what else I got. Okay, so then we worked our way around. It was very busy at Woolen Folk. There were a lot of people. A lot of the booths were crowded. So we just walked around for a while until some of the booths cleared out a little bit and we were able to get into them. And one of the main places that I wanted to go was to the String Things studio booth because Sonder Yarn Company was there. And I was able to get there and get in and get some yarn. So I purchased, this is her gray space. Seriously. So there's that one and a couple others. This is what I purchased. I purchased 4 of them. The colors, my gosh, the colors. So this is called Petrichor. I'm not really sure how you say it. And then there's Ogilvy. And then there's the snowman. This cracks me up. It's, whoops, sorry. Was it upside down? No. It's so cute. What a cute name for it. It's very soft. And then there's this, which every time I see a color like this, so it's showing, yeah, I guess that's pretty accurate. It's called Arable. So these 3 would be a beautiful fade or something, or a shawl. I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but one of the things that interested me was this shawl. It's called the accordion, and it calls for a drapey, silky yarn. And so either 1 or 2 of those I'll probably use it for that, or it's my intention. Whether it actually happens, I don't know. And I want to mention one other thing. Every time you place an order with Sonder Yarn, they also have an online shop that you can purchase through. They're great people, but every time you purchase from them, you get one of these. It's the silliest little thing, I know. It's this little cardboard ruler. It is the best little thing to throw in your project bag or just have next to your knitting wherever you are. I mean, sometimes you just need to take a quick measurement, and it is the greatest little thing. So that was just a fun thing, just an add-on, and it's always in your package when you place an order with them. So it's kind of nice to have somebody throw extras in, you know? I really appreciate that. All right, let me see what else I got. The next place we went to was a place called, well, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. It's called Moondrake. Moondrake Yarn. And this is on her BFL silk base. So nice. So nice. I purchased 3. And again, you know, I thought maybe some sort of a shawl. They kind of go nice together like that. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. And she was really cute. She was at the front of the booth, and she was just chit-chatting up a storm, and she was so grateful to everybody and so humble, and I love when you see that with people. So I don't have a shawl or a project in mind, but I couldn't resist because boy, it is just so beautiful and drapey. So nice neutral palette there too. So yeah. All right, and then another company that I wanted to talk about, I had never heard of these guys before, and they were actually one of the performers at the festival doing singing, and they had a booth, a yarn booth, and I had never heard of them, but nice yarns. So they're called Little Fox, and this is their True Wash DK. It's 100% organic merino treated. It says our True Wash yarns are treated with a GOTS certified organic compound to create washability. And I had never really heard of that before, but look at me and all my threesies. I got these. These are all DK, and it is my intention to do socks with them. It'd be nice to have some neutral tones for socks too. I kind of steered towards some of the neutrals this time. I usually go for more deep jewel tones, but I wanted some things that would, you know, be a little bit more neutral. So beautiful yarn, and this girl has a set of lungs on her and she can belt out a tune. It was really, really fun. So yeah, that was a new dyer for me, that Little Fox Yarn Company, and they do have an online store, so you can check them out too. I hope you're still here. If you're still here, awesome. It was a lot. I purchased a lot at Woolen Folk because there were a lot of vendors there that, you know, when you get to touch and feel and see the yarn, it really makes all the difference in the world. And there were some specifically that I went for, and then there were some new ones that I found. And yeah, so if you're still here, thanks. The next thing that I purchased is a yarn bundle. It's hard to show. This was from 3 Irish girls, and this is on their sport base. And this is a bundle that they put together for the Recollect cowl, which is Jennifer Steingas pattern. And I just love it when you can buy something. They had a sample in their booth with this done up, and it was just phenomenal. This yarn is beautiful. So many great colors in there. There's a few bright ones in there I'm not too sure about, but they look a little brighter on screen than they do in person. So yeah, I was happy to have a pattern to go with that, and it just made it all the more tempting. So that was 3 Irish girls, and they were really fun there too. And they gave us a stitch marker with our purchase, so that was fun. All right, and the last thing I'm going to show you is this booth was very crowded, but I decided I was going to dive in and go for it. So I went to Magpie Fibers. Magpie, pretty much everybody knows them. And this is their swanky DK base. And it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon in the Bougie Beaver colorway. Oh my gosh, you guys. Squish is not the word for it. So I got a sweaters quantity. Beautiful. It is beautiful. Squishy, squishy, squishy. I cannot wait to make a sweater from this. I think it's going to be beautiful. Again, a more neutral tone. I just think my wardrobe needs some of those. So one of the, look, they gave us a little, gave us a little sticker. Super cute. The pattern that I am contemplating is called Favorite Flannel. Can't really see it very good. It's by Alicia Plummer, who I got to meet. Oh my gosh, you guys, there were so many awesome people around to meet too. And they were so gracious about taking pictures and all of that stuff. So anyway, I don't know if I'll do that particular pattern, but this will definitely be some sort of a sweater here. And yeah, beautiful. I've actually looked at this online several times and just not bought it, but boy, when you see things in person like that, it's super hard to resist. But I'm happy I got a sweater's quantity of it. So, all right, let's see what else. Some of the other things that were going on at Woolen Folk were, I said the live music, that was really nice, but they also had the podcaster patio. Many other people have already talked about this, and they had the Grocery Girls and Gigi and Adela from Lola Bean Yarn Company. They had the guys from Needles at the Ready podcast and Denise, Earth Tones Girl, and then they had the Knitters League. All of them were podcasting from the patio, and we sat and watched the Grocery Girls. Yeah, it was setup was up on a grassy hill where we were looking down on them, and they were wonderful. They were very humble and very sweet, and Gigi and Adela were entertaining as well, and yeah, it was very, very enjoyable. We did not get to see the other two groups of podcasters. We had to find some food at that point, but it was such a beautiful day, and it just, it really was great. What else? I think that was pretty much it at Woolen Folk. There were a couple other things that I purchased, but I will share them at a different time. I wanted to talk a little bit about going to Rhinebeck the next day. So we got up pretty early and got there right at opening. We had no problem parking, but we did wait in line to get in, which was fine because everybody else was there. The excitement is hysterical. People are all like, oh my gosh, look at your sweater. And I wore my love note. I was pretty proud of it. I got a lot of compliments on it. People loved the color. And when we went through the gate, the line moved pretty fast. When we went through the gate, it was like this, the floodgates opening up, and there were people everywhere. It was super, super busy. I was a little overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie. I had had a lot of people the day before at Woolen Folk, and I had had a lot of yarn purchases too, so I wasn't too sure about the whole situation. We did walk around and worked our way through the animal barns, and you couldn't see too much. There were so many people. And there were a couple of places I would have liked to have hit, but you just couldn't get to the booth. You just couldn't get in. It was just so crowded. And so we were only there for a short while and we left. I had seen all of the people that I wanted to see, and I had purchased a lot of yarn the day before, so I didn't really feel like I guess I was pretty tired at that point. And so for me, it just, I had had enough, and my husband was good with that. I said, you know, let's just head out. I really think I've had enough. I have heard that Sunday at Rhinebeck is a little bit better. It's a little bit less busy, of course. And I do know that there was a lot of talk about people saying, oh, they'd rather go on Sunday. So, you know, for a lot of people, Sunday is traveling home, so they can't do that. But yeah, in the future, I would probably consider that. And I saw lots of fun pictures, lots of fun recaps. People had a great time. And so I am not dumping on it at all. I think it was just too much. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed the smaller events the day before. I say smaller, I mean, Woolen Folk was not really all that small, but it was more compact. When you go to Rhinebeck, it's a lot of walking, big hills, and whatever. Anyway, we left early and I did not purchase a thing at Rhinebeck. Womp womp. I hope everybody's not disappointed in me for that. But if you went to Rhinebeck, I would love to hear how you made out. And, some people, it's their thing and they thrive on that. And I actually kind of felt like that the day before. So it was all good. It was all good. So yeah, that is pretty much my whole recap of our New York trip. I will put some pictures in at the end of the video of some of the people that we met. And the last thing I wanted to say is I wanted to give a shout out to Erica from With Yarn in Front podcast. She so kindly mentioned me on her podcast, and she had a review of, or a list of several new podcasts, and I was on it, and that is the reason that I started this podcast, was to meet people and to connect with people. And the fact that somebody will take the time to share is just so impressive. And it's just, it's really heartwarming, because we're all in this because we love the knitting and the yarn. So to be able to have somebody share and not, there's no competition and there's no weird feelings. Everybody is just so embracing about the whole process. So it was really sweet of her to do that. So hey, Erica, thank you so much for the shout out. And also she mentioned a swap. It's called the Winter Wishes Sock Swap, and she has all the information on her podcast, and I will leave a link in my show notes so that you can find some information about that. And I'm thinking about participating. It sounds like a great time. There's all kinds of details on the website, and I will leave a link to that. So, all right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I can't think of anything else. I hope that if you are still with me, boy, that is amazing. I hope that I did not overwhelm anybody with all of my acquisitions. It was my intention to go there. I saved up my dollars all year, and I knew that I was going to spend. I did have some intention particularly on, a couple of sweater quantities, and I'm so happy with what I got. It was overall a wonderful experience. My husband and I enjoyed our time away from home immensely, and so now I just get to dive back in and start the cast-ons again. It really was a wonderful time, and even though I didn't stay at Rhinebeck, I know that I enjoyed the whole trip and the whole experience. And just because I was overwhelmed doesn't mean that everybody was, but it was crowded. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I can't think of anything else. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm going to leave some footage at the end here, and leave a comment down below if anybody wants to do the love note thing with me and Sophie. And I will see you soon in the next episode. Bye.